Hey, time to put your Christmas stuff away, okay? When you get into a relationship, you don't put an end date to it, right? You're not like, hey, do you want to go out? Or, hey, do you want to hang out? But just for 4 months, right? If there is no promised end date, then I'm glad that you're here, because let's talk all about the 4th secret to healthy dating. Coming up next. What is up, YouTube? Mark here. Hope you're having an amazing day. Hey, this channel is all about encouraging you to take that next step in your faith. And if this is your first time here, welcome to the channel, and go ahead and consider subscribing. This is our 4th and final video in our dating series. Have you seen the first 3? Let's go ahead and review. In the first video, we talked about how you need to help the other person become the best they can be in God's sight. In video number 2, we talked about letting other people have say in your relationship. And finally, in that 3rd video, we talked about how you don't have to be like them, but you have to believe like them, and we talked about those core values. Here we are, week 4, principle 4. You can't have long-lasting relationships if you're not willing to forgive. When I was in high school, we had this couple that always fought. Oh man, they would just get at each other's throats. And people often questioned, man, how can they do it? How can they always just be fighting and fighting and fighting? And one of the things that I learned is that they always forgave each other and they moved on. In the scriptures, we see this really interesting interaction between Jesus and Peter. In Matthew 18:21 and 22, it says, "Then Peter came to Jesus and asked, 'Lord, how many times shall I forgive my brother or sister who sins against me? Up to 7 times?'" And see, Peter here in this situation thought he was being really generous, because the rabbi taught during that time that you needed to forgive someone at least 3 times. So he was saying, hey, 7, right, Jesus? Jesus answered in verse 22, "I tell you, not 7 times, but 77 times. Come on. I mean, Peter's mouth must have dropped to the ground. I feel like for 3 years, those disciples were just thinking, what in the world is going on? This guy, this Jesus, who is he? See, the disciples were still thinking in the limited terms of the law instead of the unlimited terms of grace. Now you might be thinking, well, Mark, what does all that have to do with dating? Everything. If you are spending time with someone who isn't willing to be a forgiver, then you don't want to spend time with that person. If you're spending time with someone that is known for having unresolved conflict with people, with being in fights with people and not having resolution, not having reconciliation, I would challenge you to, first of all, address the issue or consider moving beyond the relationship, because you need someone who is willing to be a forgiver. You need someone who's willing to be about forgiveness. Have you seen this person ask for forgiveness and accept it? This is a skill that many of us have to admit we're not very good at. We don't practice very often because we try to avoid conflict, because we just want to brush everything under the rug. You're going to do stupid things in the relationship, and they're going to do stupid things in the relationship. So here's the question. What will you do in the moment after the moment of stupidness? And the first response should be to apologize. There are 4 phrases that are so key to your relationship. Are you ready? Here they are. I'm sorry. I was wrong. Will you forgive me? Can we start over? Those are 4 of the most important phrases that you will ever say in your whole life. And if you can add this to the cycle of your relationships, that when you do something stupid, that you will be the first one to admit it, and you will say those 4 phrases. I'm sorry, I was wrong. Will you forgive me? Can we start over? You see, it's not about never fighting. It's not about not having conflict. It's about how to have a healthy relationship in the midst of that. And forgiveness has to be the core at all of our relationships. So if you're in a relationship right now, have you seen this person display this skill of forgiveness? Can you remember a time where they genuinely, explicitly, authentically apologized for something? And have you ever seen them truly apologize for something? Because you're probably gonna need it this weekend or next week. I want to encourage you not to run from conflict, but realize that on the other side of conflict, a stronger relationship is waiting for you. If you're willing to humble yourself and ask for forgiveness and be the first one to forgive. You can't have long-lasting relationships if you're not willing to forgive. Are you a forgiver? Question of the day. What's the stupidest thing you've gotten into a fight about? Either with a sibling, someone in your family, maybe in a dating relationship? Go ahead and comment below. Do you have any prayer requests? I would love to pray for you this week. Go ahead and put those below and I promise to pray for you. Somebody said they saw Jesus in my neighborhood, so I started walking around and I was like, I want to see that. Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything because, shh, the baby's sleeping. And it's April. Time to put your Christmas stuff away, okay? Hey you guys, thanks for being here. Go ahead and smash the like button, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and don't forget, you are loved, and we'll see you next week.